Hello, I am Ariane. This is Book Zealots. How you doing? This is a little bit different. It is why I choose a monthly TBR. And the reason why I decided to do that is because it seems as if, and this happened a few years ago, people are having issues with the word or the initials, the acronym TBR, to be read. Somebody commented that they think that it's creating a TBR is like being told by your teacher what to read. What does that even mean? You're choosing your own TBR. What? Anyway, it didn't make any sense to me. But I still have acronyms up there on the whiteboard, the school board, about TBR, to be read, PTR, plan to read, PBO, possible book options, ORB, optional reading books, POP, pile of possibilities, POB, pile of books. And I came up with one this year, POO, pile of options. Anyway, why do I choose to make a monthly TBR? Okay, I have a lot of books, and most of them, I would say about 80 to 90-ish%, haven't calculated because I need to do another inventory, physical inventory, of my books are unread. I keep it like that on purpose. I want my library to be unread. I want my books to be exciting for me. If I go to a book and it doesn't excite me, that's when I usually try a chapter and then decide whether or not to chuck it. Here's what I used to do. I would peruse the shelves, choose a book, start reading said book, get to about 14 pages, lose interest, and set it back. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. Until a book finally sucked me in, and I would finish reading it. And I would read about 1 to 3 books a month, which is still good, better than the average. However, since starting BookTube, I've come up with a different way of doing things that works for me. If you don't like TBRs, don't do TBRs, but don't knock them, because for other people, it works. Now for me, if I have over 600 pages, sorry, I gotta adjust. If I have over 600 pages, if I have over 600 books, choosing a book to read could be overwhelming. So I peruse the books, choose a pile of possibilities, and decide what I want to read. It's not written in stone. I don't have to read them or, I'm going to sit in a corner or something. I chose them. I can decide not to read them. It's fine. So usually what happens, I'm going to come over here a little bit. Usually what happens is I go down rabbit trails. So last month we read The Johnstown Flood by David McCullough for our David McCullough read-along. And I'll put Linda's information down below. She's the host. This got me thinking about the Gilded Age, which I believe was termed or coined by Mark Twain. Yes. I have a few books by Mark Twain, but I'm not in the mood to read Mark Twain, except that I did read James by Percival Everett, because this took me down the rabbit trail. Now, somebody that was mentioned is Andrew Carnegie, and this is The Gospel of Wealth and Other Timely Essays. I actually got this for my husband because my husband likes working. He likes working. That's his hobby. He likes working. Kind of likes football. I'm sorry, side note. So I give him a bad time all the time about the team he likes because they're cheaters. Okay, anyway, we don't watch football. Anyway, so this got me thinking. I really would like to read this book, and I would like to know more about Andrew Carnegie. Then I remembered I also had another book, and I think I got this one for my husband as well, but I've stolen it back. This is Wealth and Democracy by Kevin Phillips, A Political History of the American Rich. Now, I think I have 2 other books by Kevin Phillips, 1775 and another book. Anyway, so this took me down a rabbit trail. So obviously, I'm going to put these books on my TBR. Maybe not for September, but maybe for October, November, December. So choosing books based on a book that I've already read helps me to choose and minimizes any anxiety or stress that some people put on themselves when they do have a very large library and they don't know what to read or how to even choose what to read. I also like doing buddy reads. I have buddy reads in October. I'm super excited about that. And read-alongs. Again, the David McCullough read-along. So that also helps to decide which books to read. let's see, if I start a book from my selection, but I'm not like, okay, that's another thing. If I choose a pile, and usually it's bigger than I have time for, and that's okay. If I start to read a book and then I'm no longer feeling interested in it, I set it aside. It's no big deal. And then I'll come back to it. Might not be that same year, might be another year, it doesn't matter. So for instance, I read Uncle Tom's Cabin this year. I had started that book 2 other times, I believe, and just could not get into it, and then finally did. I can't tell you why. I just wasn't. And you know, as readers, if you're a mood reader, I think you understand. Sometimes we're just not in the mood and we don't know why, and a book just doesn't sit right with us, and then we pick it up another time and then we absolutely love it and we don't know why. There you go. It just happens. I also like to read, are you okay, Sadie? Okay. I also like touching my books when I'm choosing what to read, because I don't know if y'all saw the video where my books were yelling at me. I like going to my shelves, picking up the books, thumbing through them, and seeing if I want to read it that month or maybe another time. Some of them obviously are more enticing than others, and those are the ones that I'll read. And again, if I start it and then I end up not being interested in it, I'll set it aside. I have tried reading, trying to think of the name of it, Power, Faith, and Fantasy for Historathon, and okay, so the writing is fine, but it's talking about information that I already know about and that I'm not interested in rereading because I got the information from White Gold by Giles Milton, I think is his name. So it feels redundant to me, and I don't want to skim it and I don't want to skip it, so I set it aside. I haven't given up on it. Prometheus said, just skim through it, get to the part where you're not aware of the part you're not aware of. Anyway. Okay. Selecting my books every single month, and I hope I have actually explained this. It is not rigid, it is fluid. Just because I pick a pile of books, let's say I pick 10, and I read 4, and then replace 2 more that weren't even on the pile. It's fine. It's not set in stone. It's not rigid. It's very flexible. Let's just pick this book up, for instance. Let's say I pick this up for next month and I love it, but then I get to a part that I'm not loving. I'll set it aside. I don't care. Nobody's called me out on it either. And that's one. Oh. Whoops. Okay, after that little accident, this clock needs to go on the wall, but I need to paint the wall. Anyway, I just want to explain that choosing a TBR lends enough structure without being rigid for me in order to get more read. And that is what I want to do because I have a lot of books. I want to get to them. And if they're not worth my time, I would rather find out now, sooner rather than later, so that I can unhaul them and give them away. Give them to somebody else who might enjoy them more than I did. Especially the ones I have read and didn't like The Genealogy of Adam and Eve. Okay, chuck in that book for sure. Anyway, I also rarely read one book at a time. I know there are a lot of monogamous readers. Ooh, it got really hot in here. I know there are a lot of monogamous readers. I am not. I enjoy reading fiction and nonfiction, and then at night I'll have another book. During the mornings, I will read the Bible, do my studies, do my whatever emails and stuff like that I have to do reading nonfiction. Sometimes I'll read fiction in the day. Sometimes I read both nonfiction and fiction. And then at nighttime, I'll read a lighter book. Currently, I'm reading a book about a black woman's experience of the Civil War or something like that. And it's a very light read. It's like a memoir. It is nonfiction. There are footnotes. They're in notes at the end of the chapter, which is great. However, it isn't dense. It's a very light read. So I'll read a chapter before I go to bed. Anyway, so I have 3 books going right now, and that doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people can't do that. I don't know if I could do 3 nonfictions at the same time. That might be a struggle, especially if it's all on the same topic. That would bore me to tears. And what else? Oh, another thing. So some people can complain about there are so many rules to reading. Who's making these rules? What rules? I haven't been told any rules. I think the rules are in their head. I think so. And as far as I'm concerned, if you have those rules, I would recommend breaking free and read a good book. Bye. I think I want to read these books next month. Ooh, it's hot. Okay, I'm done.